What's up? 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. What's up, Sunhouse? I'm excited. I'm getting on the YouTube thing because I want to see your questions. That's why I'm getting on. So if you're like, man, Abe, get off your dang phone. That's what I'm doing right now. Had to turn down this sound so I'm not a crazy psycho person. But so all that to say, last night I was pumped. Also, here's my mind doing this. Why do I have so many scissors on this table? I was pumped. 51 people, 51 of you chillins coming to program. Absolutely loved that. It was craziness, but we were safe. Nothing happened. No one got injured, which I love that. Come back, keep doing those Wednesday nights. Absolutely loved having you there. If you missed out on doing games with 51 other people. And then my leadership team, a couple of them didn't feel so well. Some had to work, some had some tests. So it was me, John, and Sophie. So if you were there, you held down the fort for us. But I'm excited. So this is frequently asked questions, but we have been doing this mixture of frequently asked questions and also going through Mark. And I thought, started off before announcements, we have been playing this at home groups, and it's awful. It's called Bean Boozled, the Fiery Five. And I thought a good way to start this off, look at this right here. Bean Boozled, Fiery Five, boom. They're not a sponsor of this video, just something that's awful. That I would never ask you guys to do something that I haven't done or I'm not currently doing. So I figured to start it off, I'll do some spicy Jelly Bellies. I'll do a couple, I'll pop them in. It'll be a little spicy. Hey, we're starting out with habanero. And then I'm gonna read off some announcements. So, that was gnarly. Okay, so we are doing announcements that will be on the screen. First announcement, summer camp. Summer camp, oh my gosh, those Jelly Bellies are so hot. Summer camp is coming up June 21st to the 25th. We're super excited. The girls are killing it. They're all signing up. I only have, I think, 4 spots left for girls. And I think 5 for the guys. So if you want to sign up. I can't get any more spots. I was notified that camp is sold out. Holy moly, that is so spicy. Yoy. I can't get any more spots, so it's sold out at camp. So these are the last ones we have. So we have what is that? 5 plus 2 or 5 plus 9 spots left altogether. Six spots left, something like that, not including leaders. So we're excited, but also don't wait because the price is also going up at the end of this month as well. So boom. Next, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, we are doing a color fight outside in the courtyard of Sunhouse, and we are really excited about that. It will be slam packed because we're going to build a bubble type structure so that we can throw powder at each other and all kinds of stuff. My mouth is watering so bad, Alyssa. And
those are disgusting.
Mm-hmm. They're so gross, but rain is coming in hot. Hello. Yeah, we are doing that, and you need to sign up, fill out the permission slip online. That would be super helpful. Trying to think. Home groups will be stopping. Huh?
Color mix.
Yep, did that. Home groups will be stopping the week of the 26th. So this coming week is our last week with home groups until.
You can't even talk.
Yeah, this is tough. Until August. My eyes are starting to water. A student ate one and ended up throwing up because it was so hot.
I bet.
So, man, home groups stop the next week, that week, and so they won't pick back up the same until after summer. But over summer, we're going to transition those home groups to meet at Sunhouse, and you'll be hanging out with me, Natalie, and Andrew. Those Natalie and Andrew are my interns I'll be hiring for the summer, so I'm excited. Man, it's like making my salivary glands just go nuts.
We'll put in the link for camp.
Link for camp. Link for camp. It will be in there. Link for camp. All you gotta do is click it. Announcement, I think, and movie nights will be coming on Friday nights in May, so I'm excited. Some of the movies that we're trying to bounce between to see if we're gonna do Sonic the Hedgehog, the new one, Kong versus Godzilla, the new one, found out how to stream it, hey-yo. But it all depends on how okay those movies are to show. So, should I do another Jelly Belly?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a little spinny spin. Whew. Cayenne. Cayenne's a nice break because that's the middle of the category right there. Holy moly. So, those are announcements. And then, if you're like, man, Abe, what do you have planned for summer? That schedule will be coming out midway through May as a mailer. Good Lord, that one is just as hot. As a mailer, and look at that. I don't know if you can see it. These things are full of ideas and stuff I'm excited for. So, VBS, summer camp, different things that we're doing. Yeah. We won't be going back inside in Sunhouse for a while, at least until midsummer or beginning of summer. But other than that, I'm excited.
Did you talk about VBS?
I did not talk about VBS. It's hard to talk right now. That's why.
It's going to take a long time.
I do not, I repeat, do not love that. So, VBS is done through Miss Susie, our children's director. She does it. It's called Vacation Bible School. But 6th, 7th, and 8th graders all come with me, and we go off-site, off-campus, and we go do something fun. So, hold on. Some years, we have done rock and jump and roller skating and bowling, and one year we did Aquatica. We will figure out what we're doing this year. COVID kind of killed a lot of the businesses, so we're going to figure that part out, and we will get back to you guys, but we are planning that, so I'm excited. So hot. My mouth is drooling, and I don't want to drool on my Bible. They say, here's a quick thing. One serving size is 27 pieces. Why? Why would you eat 27 of those? Anyway, so that's all the announcements. We are headed into Mark chapter 4. We've been in Mark, and we know that Mark is the earliest gospel that's written. We know that Mark is the first one, and he is the one that the other gospels pull from. We also know that Mark doesn't talk about the birth of Jesus, talks about the ministry. And so as we've walked, we've talked about that part. We've talked about how Jesus calls his first disciples, and he calls Levi first. And then we also moved into the end of chapter 2 and chapter 3 of how Jesus, holy moly, my mouth is on fire right now, how Jesus did the party with Levi, and then in the end of chapter 2 and the beginning of chapter 3, he talks about rest and the importance for rest. And you're going to notice that last week isn't on the app, and that's okay. Where is that video? Well, sometimes our camera has errors, and that was one of the weeks. Alyssa is our tech person and program person, and she just does so much. Yeah, she does so much of what we do in Sunhouse, and a lot of it depends on her. And a lot of it is so good when it's done by her. And then when something messes up, I don't know how to deal with it. So that's where we're at. I'm trying to get through this without burning my tongue more. So we are talking now in Mark chapter 4. And last night we talked about the idea of the parable of the sower and how Jesus lays out this parable, which is just a story, lays it out and says like, hey, these are the things that it's like when you throw a seed out or when you talk about the gospel or the kingdom of God. These are the different paths, and then this is the role of the sower. And last night I talked about the idea that we are all together at some point in our lives or our spiritual walk are one of those paths. And then the second thing that Jesus talks about is the sower. And so we are also the sower. So we're playing in this dual life and what's happening. And so I'm going to read it and then we'll go and dive into it a little bit. It says, "Listen, behold, a sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seed fell along the path, and the birds came and devoured it. Other seed fell on rocky ground, where it did not have much soil, and immediately it sprang up, since it had no depth of soil, and no root, it withered away when the sun came. Other seed fell among the thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no grain. And other seed fell into good soil and produced grain, growing up to increasing and yielding 30, 60, and 100-fold. And then Jesus ends it with this kooky phrase, and he said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." This is a bummer. This is out.
Yeah, why? Why are
That's
you
not
even drinking that?
I'm not. I was drinking that to cool down the fire, and it's not, and my nose is starting to run too. So, here's what's happening. Jesus is very clear that the sower goes and throws out. Why he uses the idea of a sower and agriculture is because who he's dealing with is an agricultural society. Microwaves don't exist, fridges, freezers, all those things. You can't just go to the store and buy it. You go to the market and you trade, but most of them are farmers and they grow things and they work with animals and stuff. So they know that when you throw seed, you only throw into good soil. But Jesus is talking about the sower and how he throws all this seed, and some lands on the path that we walk, so it gets trampled. It gets picked up by birds. Some lands in a spot that doesn't have depth, so the seed springs up and it's immediately taken out when anything comes against it. Some lands among the thorns and it's immediately choked out because those thorns are stronger and they're growing at a faster rate than the actual seeds. And then some lands on the good soil. And so what Jesus is articulating here is he's saying that, hey, sometimes, Alyssa, this is what I'm talking about. Alyssa runs this ministry. For those of you watching, I'm sorry that you had to see my running nose from these jelly beans. It wasn't my fault. I gotta, woo! So, okay, Jesus is articulating, he says, hey, not only does the farmer throw the seed like that, but you are each one of those. Sometimes you're the pathway and you're not really receptive to what Jesus is trying to say. Sometimes you are on this camp high and you come off of the camp high, the camp weekend, camp week, and you come back on the bus and you're super amped, but it didn't actually take root in your life. And so the first time that something comes around that isn't according to what you think God has planned for you, you question if God is even there, and then you say, he must not be. And then those roots that didn't take hold fully are gone because it scorched it away. Sometimes that seed, that word of Jesus and his love and those things get thrown, but the world is much quicker and much craftier. And so the thorns grow and they squelch out any growth that could happen with the seeds, and they choke it out completely so it never grows. And remember, those worldly things are like, you have to be this way to fit in. You have to look this way, act this way, and know these people and have this much money and dress this way. And we know that that's not true, right? And the last one is good soil. And Jesus is saying that the seeds take root in that good soil, that heart that is ready, and they start to grow, and in their lives, fruit are produced. And we've talked about fruit before. We've talked about fruit as Paul writes, and he says the fruit of the Spirit, right? And all of you guys know that song. I did not grow up in the church, so I don't know that song. And Miss Susie taught you a song. It's like something where you bang on your lap and you sing all the fruits of the Spirit. I don't remember what it is. But it's interesting that we have Paul writing about the fruit of the Spirit, and then at the end of this parable, Jesus says you will have an increasing yielding, which means it will be evident 30, 60, and 100-fold, right? And so it's just going to be more and more evident in your life. You're going to look more and more like Jesus. What's interesting is that is only the first part of this passage that Jesus is talking about. The second part is he is saying that you are also the sower. But as the sower, when you are throwing the seed that Jesus is, and you are throwing the seed of Jesus' love and his love for people and how we should love him and love others, you as the sower do not get to decide where that seed falls. That is a direct message for all of us. Last night I said some stuff that was very true, but also very heartbreaking. There was a time in which the church was okay with slavery. There was a time in which the church led the Crusades. And these things are huge and big stains in the past of the church. And those are the moments in which we tried to keep people out. We tried to say, like, no, you don't belong, or no, you are lesser, or no. And what's crazy is Jesus in this passage is saying, as the sower, it doesn't matter if there's a pathway. It doesn't matter if you think that throwing that seed isn't good. Your only job is to throw that seed. Go out into all the world. That's the Great Commission. Your only job is to throw that seed. I talked last night about a mentor that I had that said, Abe, it's not your job to decide who gets to go in the kingdom. It's your job to love, and Jesus will sort them out later. And this is what's happening. Jesus is saying, you as the sower, throw the seed. I'll sort it out later. I'll deal with it all later. It takes a lot of pressure off us. And it says that we don't need to judge. We don't need to be the stopgap or be the bottleneck by which all people encounter Jesus. No, what it says is you live passionately for people, for Jesus, and there you go. And that's all it is. And so we are going to continue going through Mark. And as we continue to go, he starts to tell more and more parables because Jesus has this way of confusing people and talking in code almost. But luckily, we have had people that have come before us to be able to interpret these things. And we're going to talk about the idea of having faith as little as a mustard seed next week. And the idea that you can move mountains with a faith the size of a mustard seed. And what do we know? A mustard seed is so tiny, so tiny. So I'm excited that we have those events coming up. Remember, we have Color Fight on Cinco de Mayo. We have camp coming up. That is the 21st to the 25th of June. We have VBS. That is the week of the 5th of July. And we have movie nights coming up every Friday in May. I'm really excited. I can't wait for you guys to be at those events. Sign up online, do all those things. A sneak peek at some of the stuff we have over summer. We have a move-up day for some of the grades that are promoting, so we're super excited for that. We are going to be hosting a dodgeball tournament. Really excited about that one. Yeah. If there was ever a time to hear a choir of angels singing behind me, that's the one. Oh, that's the Little Mermaid. That's not angels. So we for sure will have such an awesome summer, and I'm excited to have a more normal summer than we had last year. And I think that's it. Guys, tune in next week. We will be here. We will be talking through the book of Mark more, chapter 5 next week. And that's it. I love all of you guys. I'm so excited that you're a part of Sun House. Keep coming to Sun House and being a part of it. Bye, guys.